The LCD is inside of the digitizer frame and is held in by 6 torque number 4 screws. We need to remove those. Once we remove those, we still need to be very careful because it is wedged in very tightly into this frame. So let's go ahead and remove these screws. This screw right here is holding down the 3G antenna. You want to make sure that you line that back up when you put it back together. Now that we have the 6 screws out, we can take our knife and get underneath the screw connectors. And we very gently start to pry the LCD up. You can use your wedge tools to help hold it up. A neat little tip, if you're not sure if the unit you're repairing is a 3G unit or not, you can order the 3G screen and just cut this antenna off if you don't need it, if you do not have a 3G unit. Otherwise, they're exactly the same unit. Continue around, carefully prying up as we go. Once we start to have it pried up, we want to remove the light sensor. It's held on with a small adhesion. You're going to use this light sensor on the new screen, so you want to be very careful when removing it. Go ahead at this time and remove the adhesion for the 3G antenna. Now, if you feel like it's moving, but it's really stuck on there, you can always use a heat gun. You want to be very gentle, but if the adhesive is really sticking, you can use a little bit of heat to warm it up to loosen it. Go and get that out of the way, and very carefully, very gingerly, lift the unit out. We've almost got it. You don't want to do anything to gouge the LCD. Very carefully, without bending the tabs, lift it up and out. So now we've got our new digitizer that we use as a guide. And as you notice, there's protective film on the inside and protective film on the outside. We want to make sure we remove the protective film on the inside. And also, if we're installing a new LCD, we want to take the protective film off of it as well. So, go ahead and take it from the corner there. And once you remove it, you do not want to touch the digitizer. Very careful not to damage the cables. And if you'll notice, there's a few little pieces of it along the edge. Go ahead and remove all of it. And those already came out, but you want to make sure they're all gone. So the next step is to take the protective film off of the LCD. If you have to use a knife, be very, very careful. Just to get a corner lifted up, just enough to get a hold of it. Notice how I'm not touching it with my fingers at all. All right. So now we want to make sure that these screw holes line up correctly. The two that are really close together go on the top, and you slide it in underneath the cables. The 3G antenna cable and the Wi-Fi. Or I'm sorry, the digitizer cable. And it should fit right in there nice and snugly. Want to make sure that the LCD connector here does not come off. Make sure it's sitting nice and flat. Now go ahead and remove the adhesive protectant on the 3G antenna and fold it into place. And as I stated earlier, if you've got a 3G model digitizer, but you don't have a 3G model iPad, you can cut this antenna off and just leave this in place, no harm done. So we go around installing the 6 screws. When you do the 3G antenna, make sure that it's all lined up properly. That'll help keep it in place. And you go to put the digitizer back on. Okay. All right. Now that we've got the LCD in place, we need to go ahead and put the light sensor back on. Notice this little plastic piece that sticks out. Occasionally this piece will fall off and stay on the old digitizer unit. You need to make sure to save that and put it back in right there so the light sensor works properly. It just slips right in and put the adhesive right back down. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, as always, you can check out our website, www.icracked.com.